Hi guys, I hope you're all well and healthy. Today I want to share a special cake with you with a little story. This weekend a really dear friend of mine was supposed to get married, but because of the current situation that is not going to happen, or that did not happen, and the wedding has been rescheduled. I was supposed to make the cake for their wedding, and so I thought I want to make something special for them, even if I only can share it in a video or as a photo. I still wanted to make something as I was having them in my mind for a week, thinking of how difficult it might be and how sad we all might be because of what is happening, and I wanted to cheer them up a little bit with a sweet thought with this lemon cake. And also this is like a little practice for me, because I did plan the cake already for the wedding, and it will have different layers, and one of the cakes would be a lemon cake, and this was the only one that I actually haven't or I hadn't planned yet, because I don't have a lemon cake recipe yet, and so I wanted to test the recipe and kind of make a cake which really tastes like lemon, but so that the lemon taste is not really overpowering, and also that it's like this really great combination of the sour lemon taste with the sweet cake and sponge, and I think I did pretty well. And also I decorated the cake with some fresh flowers, because the plan for the wedding cake was also fresh flowers, and I had some fresh flowers in the garden. They are all edible flowers that I'm using for decorating this cake, so I thought, why not just use those as well for the decoration. But of course you can decorate the cake as you want. And without more talking, let's get started with the recipe. What we want to do first is to beat the softened butter with the sugar. So I have my softened butter here in a medium bowl, and I'm just gonna add in the sugar to it, and then we're gonna beat it for about 3 to 5 minutes until it's soft and pale. And then when it's looking like this, it's nice and pale and soft, you can start adding the eggs. You want to add the eggs one at a time and beat for about half a minute in between each addition. And once you've added all of the eggs to the sugar and butter mix, this is how it should look like. It should be really fluffy and airy. And now we are going to start adding the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients in batches. I have here my all-purpose flour, to which I'm going to add in the baking soda and the baking powder. The only thing we are leaving out of this is the poppy seeds, so we're just gonna give it a short mix. Then I also have my kefir here, or you can also use buttermilk instead, to which I'm going to add in the vanilla, and then you just want to give it a short mix. Then I'm going to first add about 1/3 of my dry ingredients and sieve them in, so I have no lumps of batter or no lumps of flour. And then you want to keep the mixer on low and just mix shortly until almost combined. So it needs only a couple of seconds, so you mix that in. Then you want to again keep the mixer on low and add in slowly about half of your liquids. And also just mix until almost combined, so only shortly. Then add in a second part of the flour, so another third or about another third. And then again, we just want to mix it shortly for a couple of seconds. Then once you notice it's almost combined, add in the rest of your liquids. Also adding in slowly. And once that's almost combined, you can add in the rest of your flour. Then you can also add in the poppy seed right away. And also we are adding a zest of 1 lemon. You want to make sure that you use organic lemon for this purpose because we want to use the skin. So we're going to grate in a skin of 1 lemon into the batter. And then we just need to mix one more time just until everything is combined. And again, just mix on low to medium low. And then once it's coming together, just remove the whisks. And then what you want to do before you transfer your batter into a cake tin, you just want to fold through the bottom just to see that the batter is well combined, that you have no dry spots nowhere in the batter, and then it's ready to go into the cake tin. And then I have my cake ring here, which I've layered from the bottom with the parchment paper, but you could also use obviously any other kind of cake tin. And I haven't buttered it, it doesn't really need the butter. And now I just transfer my batter into the cake tin. And then we just want to bake the cake, and for the details, as always, have a look into the description box where you can find a link to the recipe. I prefer to make my cake layers a day before, so this one has been chilling in the fridge. You can see it's really nice and stable. And now what you can do is you can either divide this into 3 parts. I'm gonna divide it into 2, so I want a little bit more of that cake layer and not so much of the filling. So then you just want to divide. So I'm gonna have 2, so I'm just gonna cut my cake base into 2. So just want to hold the knife steady and then rotate your cake layer to get an even cut. What I also decided to do now is to kind of remove a really thin layer from the top. So you don't have to do this, but this will make sure that the cake layer soaks up the lemon curd a little bit better. So it doesn't have the skin on top, which can block a little bit. So I'm just gonna remove this, and obviously you can have some scraps and taste a little bit of the cake. And then I have my lemon curd here, so I'm gonna link the recipe for you as I've shared it some time ago, and I don't want to share the whole recipe again here in this video, so just have a look at that recipe, which I'm gonna link now. And I used a little bit more butter this time, so 150 grams, so that the lemon curd is a little bit thicker, as I'm gonna use it for the cake layers. So now, before we start stacking the cake, what we are going to do is to spread a little bit of that lemon curd. So we're going to spread the lemon curd to soak it or pre-soak it in the lemon curd already at this point. And then we're going to add another layer later on top. And then while I have my base soaking up that lemon curd, I have my cream cheese here. I've just started softening it with a fork. Then you also want to add in the sugar to it and a teaspoon of some good quality vanilla. Then you want to continue softening it a little bit more with the fork. And then when you notice that it's nice and soft, you can swap it to a whisk. So I'm just gonna shortly whisk it with a whisk. And then we are going to add in about 100 grams of whipped cream. So this has been whipped already until stiff peaks. And I'm just gonna whisk in the cream. And then you just want to whisk it until it's nice and stiff, and also so that it's well combined, so the cream has combined with the cream cheese. Then you can bring back your cake layers and you can add in a little bit more of that lemon curd on top. So I have a really nice layer of lemon curd, and then we are just going to add the cream cheese on top, and we're gonna start spreading it evenly over the cake. And then we want to place the second layer of cake on top, and then if you want you can just slightly clean out the side, and you can also just take that lemon curd that is dripping on the bottom and you can just kind of pull it onto the side to moisturize the cake layers. And then once you're ready, you want to pop it into the fridge and chill while you make the meringue. Then what I've done is I've prepared a meringue for my cake set to go on top of the cake, and I'm gonna link the recipe for you here. I did not want to include that in this video because I filmed it already, so just have a look at the proportions and the video on how to make it. So this is kind of the consistency you want to have, like this marshmallow fluff. Then I also have my chilled cake here. I've transferred it onto a cake plate and I've just cleaned the sides a little. And now you could also see that the curd on top, so here it's kind of set a little bit, and now we are just going to add that meringue on top. So here can be really generous, and we want to get it here onto the sides so that we have the complete top covered, so make sure it kind of goes until the edges. And then I was inspired by one Australian baker. I think his name is Andy Bowdy. I hope I pronounced the name right. So he has these beautiful naked cakes where the meringue kind of goes here to the bottom. So I wanted to add a little bit of that effect on my cake as well. So I'm gonna choose a few spots where I'm gonna allow the meringue to kind of drop down like this. And then once you've added the meringue, then you can kind of push into it a little bit with, or mold it with a spoon a little to kind of get these peaks, because that's gonna look really beautiful once we torch it. And then once you're happy with the meringue, you can start torching it. I didn't use all of mine, so I'm gonna use the rest to make some meringue kisses, but you could use all of it to go on the cake. And then just carefully torch it from a little distance. And then it's up to you how you want to decorate your cake. So I was planning to decorate my cake with some edible flowers. So I have some beautiful edible flowers that I have growing in the garden, and I picked some yesterday especially for this cake, and I'm gonna use those to decorate. I also wanted to decorate with a little bit of fresh mint, but unfortunately it didn't quite live to my expectations, so it's not looking as fresh anymore, so I'm gonna leave that out and just decorate with a little bit of the flowers. But you can be creative here and decorate as you wish, or you can always also leave it just like this, or decorate with some lemon, as you wish. So I did actually manage to find a couple of mint leaves that looked really nice. So this is my cake. This cake does have a couple of steps, so you have to kind of make the lemon curd if you're going to make it yourself, which I would do because it tastes so delicious and it does not take that long to make. So here's the recipe for you if you want to make it from scratch. And then obviously you bake the layers, you fill the cake, you decorate it with marshmallowy fluff, and then you don't have to, but you can, which I also think is the funnest part of making this cake, is to torch the marshmallow fluff. So yeah, it does have a few steps, but it's definitely worth it. It tastes so delicious. I had my colleagues test it, and I had my boyfriend test it. I can say he's not a big fan of lemon cakes, but he really liked this one, so it did turn out really well, and we all really enjoyed eating it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you will be trying it out, please send me some photos of your creations. You can send those to me on Instagram, via the direct message, or share it in your stories or in the feed and tag me. Or you can also look down below in the description box. There is a link to my website where you can also find the recipe. And if you scroll down, then you can find a comment field where you can leave a comment and attach your photo. I would really love to see your photos of your lemon cakes. So if you like lemon, then I'm sure you will absolutely love this cake. And also, if you're not a big fan, but you still kind of like the flavor, then I'm sure you will also like it. And also the marshmallow with fluff on top of the cake, it's so yummy. Everyone who tried the cake said it was a really delicious part of this cake. So if you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Don't forget that thumbs up for support, and also if you're new to my channel, then you can subscribe right now, and if you tap the bell, you won't miss any of my new videos. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.